first sitting of the County Assembly on 21st September 2022. Honorable members, this sitting is properly convened. Your Excellency, sir, I would like to recognize the new leadership of the County Assembly, which was established on Wednesday, 28 September 2022 in Mombasa during the induction exercise of the Third County Assembly. Honorable members, the leader of Majority Party is Honorable Lawi Kipchumba. Honorable members, let's applaud. The leader of Minority Party is Honorable Daniel Tuwit. Deputy Leader of Majority, Honorable Josephat Lokorio. Deputy Leader of Minority, Honorable Paul Lolkisoy. Majority Chief Whip, Honorable Ernest Kibet. Deputy Majority Whip, Honorable Purity Talam. Minority Chief Whip, Honorable Maria Losile. Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable Solomon Makal. Your Excellency, sir, there was also elections and 2 members of the County Assembly Board were also elected. And they are Honorable Julius Ngotie and Honorable Wesley Lekakimon. Your Excellency, sir, 3 representatives to the County Assembly's Forum. These include myself, the Speaker of the County Assembly, and 2 elected members from the County Assembly, namely Honorable Henry Kiken and Honorable Diana Siriti. Your Excellency, sir, allow me also to recognize the following dignitaries who were invited and have joined us in gracing this occasion. They are not seated with us here today because our chambers is under renovations, but they are in the public gallery. But they are within we are within our chambers here today. They are within the building. And they include the county security team led by the County Commissioner, Mr. Abdulrazak Jaldesa, members of the clergy led by Bishop Kotut, Bishop Cheptarus, Imam Said Modar, retired Bishop Kipchemon, the County Executive Committee members, the County Secretary, Chief Officers, Directors of various government departments, members of staff, and all other invited guests. Your Excellency, sir, the leadership of the County Assembly committees will be finalized in due course. Your Excellency, as the Third County Assembly, I want to assure you that we will support you fully by effectively discharging our mandate as provided under Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya, which is representation, oversight, and legislation. Next order.
Order number 3, Governor's Address on the opening of the Third Assembly.
Honorable members, it's now my honor and privilege to invite His Excellency the Governor of Baringo County to address the sitting of the Third County Assembly. Honorable members, kindly be upstanding.
You may be seated. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Leader of Majority, Leader of Minority, Honorable Members of the County Assembly, Honorable Leadership of the County Assembly, and all protocols observed. Good afternoon. I am greatly humbled to give you my inaugural address to this honorable House as we mark the beginning of business for the Third County Assembly of Baringo. I would like to thank all of us who are present here today for finding time to be part of this momentous occasion. Mr. Speaker, may I take this very first and privileged opportunity to congratulate all honorable members of this House for being elected and or nominated to the Third County Assembly of Baringo County. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. I know that we went through a rigorous campaign, and I am part of you. I went through the same process. I laud the Honorable Speaker and the Deputy Speaker for their being honored with the weighty responsibility of providing leadership and guidance to this House. I also appreciate in advance all members who will be assigned different roles of representing this Assembly in national platforms, and I'm glad that already you have those who will be representing you in CAF, and those who will be elected to chair various committees, various important House business portfolios. The fact that you all find yourself here today means enormous trust and great responsibility has been set upon your shoulders by the people of our county. And I hasten to say that a lot of expectations are there for you. The citizens are watching. The citizens are expecting a lot. Let me state again, Mr. Speaker, sir, here on the floor of this House that my vision is to transform Baringo into a prosperous, well-governed county that affords her people the highest standard of living. This vision is anchored on my 6-pillar plan as outlined in my campaign manifesto. In my statement today, I will be breaking down some of this, part of this vision and how our priorities will look like in the next 5 years. These pillars, honorable members, are in line with the Kenya Kwanza Bottom-Up Manifesto, the Vision 2030, and will be an integral part of our third generation County Integrated Development Plan, 2023-2028, which we have started developing in earnest. To realize this noble cause, a solid, cordial relationship and mutual interdependence between the executive and the county assembly is called for and is indeed very necessary. I dare say that during our meeting the other day when you are having your induction in Mombasa, and during our various interactions even before then, it has come out very clear that we have a common agenda. The agenda is to grow our society in the right direction. The agenda is to create wealth for our people. The agenda, like Bishop Kwatut said earlier, is to improve the standard of living of the vulnerable, the poor, and those that have not had opportunity to realize their potential. To realize this noble cause, a solid, cordial relationship and mutual interdependence between us, the executive, and the county assembly is more pertinent than ever. This is perhaps the single most important determinant of our collective success as a county government. And I repeat, our relationship, mutual relationship, if it is cordial, is the single most important determinant of our collective success as a county government of Baringo. That does not mean that we should not check on each other. That does not mean we should not criticize each other. It only means in our endeavor to grow the quality of life of our citizens, we must work together. And we must do everything that is necessary to make that succeed. We should always work together seamlessly, like two different functional parts of the same machine. We should soldier on in one accord in championing the cause of prosperity for our people. Divided, we will certainly fail. But together and united, we shall definitely thrive. In this regard, I invite all honorable members of this House to partner with and work with us on the journey to making our county prosperous. Together, we will move further and we will move faster. It is said that if you move alone, you cannot go far. If we move with others, you will go very far. As a God-fearing people and nation, allow me to share an example from the great leader, from a great leader from the good book, King David. He served God's purposes in his generation. You may refer to Acts 13:36. Fellow leaders, ours, like King David, is an opportunity to serve. An opportunity to serve. We do so by serving his people, the people of the Almighty God. Although we hold the rare position of being referred to as your waheshimiwa, or for me, sometimes being called Your Excellency, these titles are meaningless if we don't serve the people to the standard that they deserve. I am certain that we are alive to the fact that we all find ourselves in here today because the people of Baringo County have entrusted in us the collective responsibility of effecting our county's transformation. They believed in the pledges we made to them. And I made a lot of pledges myself. You made a lot of pledges. We will give you bursaries. We will build ABC. We will do everything that you want us to do. Going forward, therefore, it is a must. It must not be lost on any one of us that it's now time to team up and roll up our sleeves and get down to work. I know that your work is legislation. Your work is oversight. Your work is representation. So when your people demand of you to provide them with water, you must make sure that my executive, through the budgetary resources that you have allocated to us, are able to make sure that the people you represent are made to get water. Honorable members, you will all agree with me that there is need to not only kickstart our development agenda, but to also refocus it in line with the bottom-up economic model as outlined by His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto. Going forward, we must concentrate more on providing practical and speedy solutions to our socio-economic challenges that face our residents. The top three challenges that our people struggle with, actually there are more than three, are paying school fees, paying hospital bills, or finding treatment in our hospitals, and finding jobs. But even there is one fundamental one that we have not seen as important, that of getting food. There are people who on a few occasions have to struggle with having 1 meal a day. Many of our problems would be solved if we had money or more money in our pockets. In other words, we must focus on growing our economy. We must focus on making our people have money in their pockets. We must focus on making our people to be more productive so that we can not only have food, but we can have enough to do value addition and create employment for our people. Our young people therefore need jobs. Our farmers need better returns for their produce. Our hard-working men and women in our markets want better services as they carry out their business. The county government, and by the way, county government is not the executive. County government, that is the county assembly and the county executive, have distinct but complementary roles geared towards bringing solutions to these challenges facing our people. I have no doubt in my mind that looking at the diverse skills and capabilities in this house, we have what it takes to institute measures to bring solutions. And there is no other person that the people of Baringo County expect to bring solutions. It is myself, the executive, and yourself. If we fail, we will have failed together. If we succeed, we will have succeeded together. There is no way the executive cannot succeed when the assembly is not succeeding. And there is no way the assembly can succeed without the executive succeeding. So let us work together. And I continue emphasizing that we must look at ourselves as complementary. We are not, we are complementary. We are not operating from the opposite sides of the cards. We are faced with unemployment, and this is the biggest challenge. We are faced with insecurity, and this is a serious challenge. Where we have our infrastructure, which is not the best. Even today, I was called by someone from Tenges that there are challenges in the roads there. We are faced with challenges of limited capital so that our people can do business. We are faced with a situation where we have limited private sector investments. We are not like Machakos County, which has export processing zones with hundreds or thousands of people who are employed there. We have to begin ourselves and ask ourselves, what can we do to get investors to come to this county? Can we create an economic processing zone? Can we create an industrial park? Those are things that we must do like yesterday. I commit to provide leadership in addressing these challenges in an innovative manner and also building a conducive environment that will facilitate investors to the county. We have the opportunity of raising the Baringo to be among the great, or confine it to the territories that will follow other counties. And when I say investors, I'm not talking about people from abroad always. I'm not talking about people from outside Baringo County. Even ourselves, we can become investors. It is not only people from out there, but they can come and complement with us. During the period when I served as your governor, my administration implemented initiatives that improved our production. For example, the coffee system, to the extent that we were able to do a coffee factory, which is a sleeping giant, which we need to make sure that we have more coffee planted and more coffee harvested so that it can be able to produce good quality coffee. We invested in projects that promote value addition, most of which may have not been completed as quickly as we should have. Our focus, therefore, in the next five years, will be to deepen and increase this initiative. Our economy needs to reach an income that we can be proud of. If the income of this nation of Kenya is 3 trillion, if the taxes that we collect, both borrowed and whatnot, is 3 trillion, Then we just need to divide 3 trillion by 47 counties. And you will realize that our economy should have more than 400 billion per year. How are we going to get this 400 billion per year? So that we can be able to provide employment for our people, our young people. We can be able to make the lives of our people even better. We need perhaps to create about 50,000 jobs every year, because we are producing graduates in large numbers that are not employed. So we have to think and be innovative and ask ourselves, how can we give these people opportunity to work here? Or how can we give these people an opportunity to work in other parts of the country? Or how can we get them an opportunity to work even overseas? I remember in my manifesto, I used to tell people that we are going to create a system that will support our young people to get employment beyond the borders of our county, beyond the borders of our nation. And we will do that. We will create a department that will be responsible for working on attachment for our young people, for working on internship, wherever it is, for even securing employment opportunities to these young people. To deliver on this promise that will surely transform the county, therefore, we require to adopt a robust, systematic, and yet practical development approach. Policies, programs, and projects have to be formulated based on the greater impact to a critical mass of our communities. Our approach must be holistic by addressing the short-term, medium, and long-term challenges that prevail in our localities. We must ensure that each of our economic sectors receive deserving budgetary attention, and that voices of all communities are represented in decision making. And you are the ones, you are the voices of the communities. What you tell us is what the communities are telling us. So we will listen keenly to what members tell us in the executive. We will also listen keenly to what the public tell us when we go on public participation. We will deepen public participation. We will use all technological approaches to be able to do that. Even as we do this, we must be careful not to stretch our financial resources too thin. Because sometimes we are ambitious to satisfy every nook and cranny, every village, in the desire to tell them at the end of our electoral term that I did this for you, I did that for you. But we are not asking ourselves, what is the impact of what you have done? Is it generating wealth? Is it creating employment? Is it making our society better or not? My administration will partner with this House to ensure that programs and projects implemented have greater impact, are sustainable, efficient, and most importantly, effective. You know, sometimes we go to our constituency or our ward, and the community says we want a dispensary. And we build the dispensary. But when we are building the dispensary, we have not factored in how we will pay the clinical officer, the nurse, the lab technologist, the watchman, and support staff. It is easy to build the dispensary, but it is difficult to make it continuously run. So when we are doing our priorities, let us do it, but factor in the cost of operation of that entity. And a lot of us, for now, we are suffering because our facilities are available, but there is nothing going on there. At institutional level, we must adopt robust resource mobilization and allocation frameworks and implement prudent fiscal policies. We should accelerate structural reforms geared towards building a conducive business environment that promotes investment, improve efficiency in production, and ultimately empower our people to generate income and create employment and wealth. Every time that I'm talking, I'm looking at income, employment, wealth. And therefore, I will call upon you also to help us in knocking doors at the national level, at the development partners level, because the truth of the matter is that the resource envelope that we get is small. So we need to be able to go and ask the team of the president at the national level. Make friends with the cabinet secretaries. Make friends with those heads in institutions that support us. For example, can we be able to get our water and irrigation committee to visit the National Irrigation Board to assist us in lobbying for resources, so that it is not our responsibility only to look at the budget that we bring to this house. Can we get more money from UNICEF, from World Food Program, from WHO, from FAO, from all the development partners that assist us? Together, we can lobby. And you come and tell me, Governor, I have gone to Water Services Trust Fund. There are 50 million shillings, and we shall be able to do a water project or an irrigation project in one of the places. Of course, I'll be the chief fundraiser. And when you don't see me in these grounds, you know that I am going to raise money. Because I want to bring money to your ward so that we can be able to develop, because the money that we have here will not be enough. Mr. Speaker, sir, critical urgency lies in fixing the enabler sectors. They are the catalyst for a competitive production, and by investing in empowerment programs that will put money in the job pockets of our people and thereby spur real economic growth that will be felt by Wanjiko. But in our case, I think Tabrandich might be better, or Tapkeli, who is our employer. Mr. Speaker, I've always emphasized that we need to put money in the pockets of our people. Of course, that does not mean that you don't want money in your pockets too. Turning agriculture and livestock sectors into commercially driven and innovative life-transforming ventures is a sure strategy to enable our farmers to take advantage of the enormous competitive advantage prevalent in the sector within Baringo to make money, increasing productivity, investing in value chain development, promoting mechanization, improving farmers' capacity through intensified trainings and extension services, and developing reliable markets are the key drivers for the sector. I submit to this House, therefore, that we must immediately re-embark on revitalizing this sector through support to farmers to enable them enhance production and upgrade quality. I am saying this when we are doing our budget. Sometimes we give very limited budgets to agriculture. And yet this is a goose that lays the golden egg. We put more money in roads and infrastructure. We put more money perhaps in health. But it's because we are not producing enough food that our people are unhealthy. So if we put more money in agriculture, people will grow food, they will eat healthy, and they will not go to hospital. So we'll not need to put more money in drugs in the hospital. I'm just trying to put it that way. This will be done with the aim of not only improving food security, but also producing enough to enable us venture into and sustain value addition, especially in the dairy, meat, coffee, and apiculture subsectors. A summary of our interventions in the agriculture and livestock subsectors will be the following. Livestock breeds upgrading through artificial insemination, pedigree bulls, gala bucks, Dober rams. And of course, we cannot give these animals without training the farmers on how to look after them. So a factor for capacity building of extension workers is critical. Construction of maybe new sale yards so that we can be able to sell these animals, and rehabilitating of existing ones to enable farmers to cut out middlemen and fetch better prices for our livestock. Livestock disease control, vaccinations, construction, and rehabilitations of cattle dips, promotion of pasture production, and that's most important, and storage. Promotion of apiculture, beekeeping. I met one lady and she told me she made 20 million shillings out of refining honey that is coming from Baringo. Just one lady. And I met her in a car showroom wanting to buy a brand new pickup, cash, courtesy of honey. And a lot of it is coming from TRT and Baringo South and parts of Baringo North. Watu wa Lema Ravina wajui mambo ya asali. So we are talking about promotion of fisheries development, and let me tell you on that one. The other day, I was presiding over a passing out parade for fisheries guards, and I asked in Lake Baringo, how much do we sell our fish? And they told me 750 million in a year. So if we put money in fisheries, we can get 2 billion. If you put money in coffee, we can get 3 billion. You know, of course I can't talk about livestock. So when we work with the national government, which will assist us in distributing fertilizer, and work with the national government, for example, Keria Valley Development Authority, to distribute more beehives, we are able to make our farmers earn more. All these efforts will not bear the desired results if we do not see them through to value addition. In this regard, we will fast track the completion and operationalization, that's a very tough word, of 2 slaughterhouses. Imagine we have a slaughterhouse in Loruk that has not been operationalized for the last, how many years? 6 years. We have one in Barwesa that has not been operational for the last same number of years. And it is ready and complete. We have the slaughterhouse in Maui, which people are ready to import meat from there. We must move very fast and maybe get these things to be working. We have a milk plant that we established in Elema Ravine. It needs urgent attention to be completed so that our young people can get jobs. The completion of that milk processing plant will be prioritized to not only promote value addition in the dairy sector, but to also create employment and increase income for farmers. I take this opportunity on the floor of this House to challenge farmers to embrace technology in dairy farming, to optimize production of milk, to guarantee maximum use of the milk plant. At the same time, of course, in the coffee value chain, we shall relaunch the empowerment of farmers and initiate extension services to further enhance coffee production. This will ensure that the Baringo Cha coffee mill operates in full capacity. Meanwhile, we shall be exploring avenues for the expansion of our South Korean market through our contacts with the tiger economy. Mr. Speaker, sir, the delivery of health care is a matter that is close to the heart of many people in the county. We know very well that a healthy population is a very critical resource because they will have the energy and drive to grow the economy. I am committed to putting my experience and energies through delivering on this. We will work tirelessly to ensure that the county referral hospital is operating effectively and that there are quality services. We will also ensure that the referral hospitals in Elema Ravine, Chemolingot, Mogotio, and Kabartonjo are optimally used. I have focused my energies on that one. And their purpose is to improve service at a lower cost so that we do not waste our drugs or they go to the wrong hands. Healthcare still remains a challenge to many of our citizens. This situation continues to prevail, yet a very significant allocation of the county budget goes to provision of health care. We all know that no one can enjoy quality and productive life unless they are of good health. In fact, our aggregate productivity depends on a healthy and energetic human capital. We are also aware that our health facilities have been performing below par. It's good to accept the truth that when you go to a hospital, sometimes you can stay for 3, 4, 5 hours before being treated. And when you go to the dispensary, you have been given a prescription of 4 drugs, you find 3. No, you find 2, and 2 are missing. This situation is unacceptable and must be reversed within the shortest time possible. And I want to tell you, I have started going everywhere, and I will, together with your support, be able to make this. And we went to nearly 3 hospitals together with members of the county assembly from those areas, and they saw it for themselves. So when we will be budgeting with hindsight. I will endeavor to work with you. Whenever it's possible, we want to visit development projects, we visit together so that when we are doing our budgets, we know where it pays. We put our money in the right place. In addition to supplying our health facilities with sufficient drugs and non-pharmaceutical, we shall source and deploy a county hospital management system that will automate patient registration, revenue collection, and drug dispensing. This tool will go a long way in helping streamline service delivery and enhance revenue collection in our hospital. Let me tell you, I have gone to, and some of the colleagues here will remember, that we went to one of the hospitals with a pharmacy, and there was no system. The pharmacist could as well carry all the medicine home and then come back in the morning and say there is no medicine. So we are going to work on the systems to ensure that there is no leakage, no loss, no proper distribution of our drugs so that our people can benefit. To reduce the number of referrals to our level 4 facilities, we shall improve diagnostics capacity of our level 3 hospitals like Mochongoi, Kisanana, Salawa, Esageri, maybe Barwesa, maybe Koloa, maybe Akuchatis, to name a few. What am I saying? Imagine that a patient is in Koloa. There is a laboratory, but there is no diagnostic equipment. There is no biochemistry machine that can analyze the cause of disease. That person will be forced to jump into a vehicle, come all the way to Kabanet, pay 1,500 shillings, if it is, or maybe somewhere around there, for a test which is worth 500 shillings. And go back with 1,500. Amewacha ng'ombe yake. Let me not speak in Swahili. He has left his goats and cows unattended to just come for a test of 500 shillings. So let us look at our budget and see how we can improve the capacity of our level 3 hospitals to be able to do diagnosis and also to accept NHIF as a mode of payment. You know, you are a school teacher in Barbelo, or you are a school teacher in Olkokwe. There is a hospital in Olkokwe. You have to travel all the way to Nakuru to visit a facility that can accept NHIF. Why don't we make our hospitals accept NHIF where they are, and our people to be able to be treated there? All equipment and drug without healthcare personnel will definitely not treat patients. My administration will ensure that as much as possible, all the staffing needs of our hospitals are met across all cadres. Of course, you know, we have a challenge of wage bill. But I call upon all our healthcare professionals to offer selfless service as we address the challenges they face. In due course, I am confident that we shall achieve a work environment that's conducive for effective service delivery to the people of Baringo County. I have been holding meetings with these people. Even this morning, I was holding a meeting with them because I want to understand where the problem is in our healthcare delivery system. And I will be very practical. I will not sit in my office and expect things to be working in hospitals. We will be able to work there together. Mr. Speaker, sir, I urge this House to earmark the water sector for prioritization in resource allocation so that we increase sustainable access to clean and affordable water to the residents of Baringo. Let me tell you, over 30% of our people are drinking unclean and untreated water. They drink water from the river, from a water pan, and from water dams. And then they get sick. So we spend money coming to treat people which would not have a problem if we had clean water there. So we need to make sure that as many households as possible are able to get clean water to avoid going to hospital and to avoid being sick. I submit to this Honorable House that the best way forward is to leverage on sinking new boreholes and excavation of small dams and treating the water. We need to enhance collaboration with development partners and work closely with the national government in harnessing and managing this scarce resource. And it works. This morning I had a meeting with people from UNICEF, and I convinced them that, you know, we have a problem in Marigat of clean water. I'm not saying we don't have a problem elsewhere, and they have said this, by next week we shall do 2 boreholes in Marigat to be able to get water to the people of Marigat as we look for a bigger solution to the challenge facing water. So we'll get money from development partners. I will be lobbying the relevant national government institution to expedite water supply from existing water infrastructure, mainly the Kirandich and Chemususu dams. I tell you, I have been working lately, and work is going on for Chemususu to be able to reach, to get the last mile water to reach the people in Mogotio and Eldama Ravine. Actually, the Chemususu is serving Mogotio more than Eldama Ravine. But I think in the next, before this financial year is over, something good will have happened in Mogotio in terms of water. Eldama Ravine is much better, but Upper Chemususu has a problem. I have also been working on the Kirandich water project. They are slowly coming in. There will be water provision for the people in the lower side of Baringo Central towards Kabasis, Timboiwo, and Sacho. And of course, this other side of the Kerio Valley from Kerio Valley in Baringo Central is doing very well. Same thing will happen to Baringo North. The Kirdam water will reach Kabartonjo and hopefully be distributed in the environs. To support all year-round production of food, we need to gear up and invest in major ways to harness our water resources towards facilitating a shift from rain-fed agriculture to irrigated and commercialized farming. And I want to thank you members because you worked tirelessly for the election of our president, Honorable William Samoei Ruto. You remember that during the term that ended, we were supposed to do a dam in Radat for irrigation that will transform the whole of Baringo South. The water system in River Arabal, also we have good money that is coming from Water Services Trust Fund, I think another 65 million, so that water can come all the way from the River Arabal to this other side of Baringo South for irrigation and for water consumption. You will remember that the president also wanted us to set up dams in Peregay and all those. I will work as much as possible together with you members and together the members of the National Assembly to realize these irrigation projects that we so want to do in our county. Our focus on road infrastructure development as a foundation for economic growth is to deliver quality infrastructure equitably and efficiently. We will resume the improvement of our urban infrastructure by upgrading our town roads to bitumen standards, and hopefully in due course we shall roll out the annual program of tarmacking roads in our major towns, including Kabarnet, Marigat, Eldama Ravine, Mogotio, Kabartonjo, and Chembolingot. This is the face of our county, and this is where we do business. If people come and see us and see that at least we have got tarmac roads, good tarmac roads in our county so that the value, they can be able to come and invest here. To achieve targets in improving our rural roads to all weather standards, we will make use of already acquired machinery. And I want to thank members of the County Assembly who prioritize this so that our business will be providing fuel and getting professionals to be able to be used. We will of course use this and complement it with contractual works as may be practical and efficient. Our main focus in this regard is to open access to agricultural areas and institutions such as cooperative societies, social amenities, as well as facilities that give our own resource revenue to the county, such as tourist destination and quarries and rivers. And for that reason, I have instructed the people of the Ministry of Roads to quickly do the road in Lake Bogoria because a lot of our resources are not, tourists are not coming to Lake Bogoria because of a problem of the roads inside there. When people go in there, they cannot be able to see the animals, their vehicles break down. So I've instructed the roads department to quickly do the road inside Lake Bogoria so that we can be able to start generating revenue. That is much needed. Honorable members, skills development is significant in building a strong knowledge economy as the engine to drive our socio-economic growth. In this regard, we will lay emphasis on profiling the skill sets needed by our county and country sectors. This will enable us to upgrade our vocational training institutions accordingly and develop current and dynamic curricula that will match the requirements of the job market. Building a workforce with the skills capacity to self-employ is one of the surest ways to sustainably address the unprecedented youth unemployment in the county. On this note, we will see to it that all our VTCs, vocational training centers, are fully operationalized. As a county, we currently have 14 operational vocational training centers. There are 7 new vocational training centers within Baringo that have been built and must start training. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want our young people to be employed, we must give them skills. I will undertake to go and meet people in industries to tell us what sort of training needs do they require, so that we can come and train our youth for a market that is expecting them. For example, there is no vocational training center that is training our people in tile fitting. And yet tile fitting is a very rewarding venture. So we will together work towards that end to create employment for our young people who have not gone beyond a certain level. We shall initiate spirited campaigns towards enrollment and retention of an optimum number of 5,000 students in our vocational training center, up from the current nearly 1,200. So 1,200 students, and we have very many young people who don't have training. I urge as members to play your part as leaders towards achieving this goal. Let us market our vocational training centers. Let us give them bursaries where possible. Let us look for jobs for them once they get. That way, we can be able to move to the next level. We are also very keen on enabling our youth to leverage on ICT in skills as a driver for enterprise development. In this regard, we intend to work with partners to equip and roll out free Wi-Fi in all our youth empowerment centers in our sub-county headquarters. This is fundamental because it will give power to our people to take up offshore employment and business opportunities and keep up with the global trends of wealth creation. For us to effectively target bright and talented youth for scholarships to enable them pursue skill sets that will guarantee them employment, we need to increase the bursary kit to match the needs of our people. So going forward, we want to have a budget that will be sufficient to train people in our youth empowerment centers, in our vocational training centers, and in our schools. In so doing, we shall be contributing effectively towards breaking the poverty cycles in families and in our communities. Mr. Speaker, considering the importance of the formative years in human development, we will build more ECD classrooms, equip existing ones, and provide additional facilities and services that will cater for all aspects of early childhood development, including school feeding program. School feeding program. We will try to partner with, work with partners to see if we can do something about feeding our children in ECD centers. As I commit to spearhead efforts to forge partnerships that will enable us to sustainably roll out these feeding programs, which is costing some substantial amounts, can reach as far as 130 million annually. I call this honorable house to rise to the occasion and support our efforts to champion this noble cause. My administration will champion for the welfare of ECD teachers by improving their terms through progressively implementing the schemes of service as fronted by the Council of Governors and the Teacher Service Commission. When we were campaigning, everywhere we went, ECD teachers were saying, mutuongezee mshahara, mutuwekee schemes of service. Let us talk, see how we can adjust our budget to see what we can do for them. We will sit down together with the budget committee in this house and to look at what we can be able to raise and what we can do for them. Mr. Speaker, in contemporary society, sporting activities play a key role in fostering healthy, cohesive communities as identifying and nurturing talent. We have all witnessed numerous individuals turning various sports into lucrative and life-changing career ventures. We must therefore invest in facilities and activities that will enable our youth and the sporting fraternity to nurture, showcase, and excel in their different fields. In this regard, we must resume the construction of Cabernet Stadium in earnest. Given the priority of this facility, I have already given instructions for the clearing of the grounds, repairs to the perimeter fence, and the erection of a stadium gate. All these initial works will be geared towards making the grounds usable for various activities, even as we prepare to embark on the remaining major works to complete and operationalize it. We will be going out to solicit funds. We have the sports fund, which is given by people who do things like sport pressure. I will be knocking doors. And I want to promise you, gentlemen, we will not sit on our laurels and expect that we are going to grow with the money that we have. I will be talking to people outside this county to see if we can get funds. I've already started talking to Ravine Roses, is it current Roses, to support us in the construction of a stadium in Eldama Ravine. Unfortunately, they cannot come beyond this other side. So Eldama Ravine, we will work with Roses to do the stadium in Eldama Ravine. All these initial works, like I said, will be for us to prepare for upgrading our stadia to be the same as those others that you see in Kisumu, in Kiambu, and all over the place. We will definitely want to have stadiums in each and every sub-county headquarters, including Mogotio, Marigat, Mochongoi, and Chemolingot, so that all our people are able to exercise, to do what they want to make them succeed in sports. My administration will also prioritize the completion and full operationalization of athletics talent development centers, which include Sirwa Training Camp in Mogotio, the one in Osen, Talaya Athletics Camp in Baringo Central, Mochongoi Athletics Camp in Baringo South, and Metipso Athletics Camp in Eldama Ravine Sub-County. As a county government, we will also extend support to Torongo and Solian Athletics Trainings Camp. To further facilitate the identification, unlocking, and refining of talent, the county government will partner with the governing bodies of various sporting disciplines, most notably FKF, Athletics Kenya, and Kenya Volleyball Federation in training of at least 30 coaches going forward, so that we can be able to improve the standard of sports in this county. With the ongoing climate change and global warming, ladies and gentlemen, my administration will endeavor to manage and conserve our environment and natural resources in a manner that supports sustainable economic growth and development. Vision 2030 requires the country to work towards achieving a forest cover of 10% of land area to ensure sustainable resource use, making tree planting to be an important undertaking which contributes to environmental conservation. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen, because our forests in Koibatek, and our forests here in Baringo North, and our forests in Baringo Central need to be protected, because climate change is real. The flooding in Marigat, in Lake Baringo, is caused because we have problems upstream. And the establishment of dams, check dams upstream, is what we would like to do, so that we can minimize the speed at which water go to Lake Baringo, causing displacement of persons. I will champion the process of addressing the actors in climate change, so that they can support even people who are displaced by waters in Lake Baringo. If you see the people who are displaced by waters in Lake Baringo, the Climate Change Fund must be used to resettle them and to provide them with opportunities to earn a living which they were living before they were displaced by floods. As we support our residents to ensure we surpass this mark, human activities that are detrimental to the environment, for instance, cutting of trees, must be discouraged. We must collectively find ways to encourage our people to engage in livelihoods, alternatives to maybe things that destroy our forests, such as charcoal burning. Let's go to beekeeping. Let us go to apiculture, and let us go to other agriculturally productive activities. To attain effective solid waste management, the county government will initiate and sustain cleanups in towns and urban centers. Our towns are not looking very nice. We will lobby the national government to fast-track the ongoing sewerage works for Kabarnet town, as well as that of Eldama Ravine. And also try to upgrade Eldama Ravine and Marigat towns to municipality status, so that we can be able to get the benefits of urban and slum upgrading schemes funded by the World Bank and other development partners. My government will be the forefront in supporting the fast tracking of land adjudication and the issuance of title deeds. You know that this is a very important thing for our people. When people have their title deeds, they can do many things. This is informed by the fact that land is one of the single most important factor of production, and there is therefore need to speed up the documentation and its efficient management. I started the process of doing titles for Churo during my term, and I'm happy that some progress was made, but unfortunately it is not complete. We also started the process of getting the titles for Mochongoi, which were still referred to as Forest Reserve. We will work together with the members from those areas to ensure that in the not too distant future, everybody has got a title to his land from that region. I will be reaching out to the Ministry of Lands for partnership to fast-track the adjudication and titling process so as to put more of our land mass under the ownership of our residents. I know that a large portion of Baringo South have no titles. A large portion of Baringo North, Barwesa, Saimosoy and Bartabwa have no titles. The whole of the entire TRT, almost the entire TRT have no titles. We are equal to any other part of Kenya. There is no reason that in Baringo County we cannot have titles. That is a process that I will ask you to support by providing the finances when we are doing our budget so that we can be able to make our people be like the others in the nation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to say we have a huge potential in tourism. We are blessed to have such captivating terrain, mysterious caves, nature trails, hot springs, wide variety of bird species, unique species of giraffes and crocodiles, among many other natural phenomena. We also possess amazing potential in ecotourism, cultural tourism, sports tourism, safaris, businesses, even, the rhino charge. We are always chosen. Safari rallies, very many activities that can attract tourists to our country. In fact, due to our geographical uniqueness, UNESCO has declared Baringo, Baringo is being prepared to become a geopark, the first in this country. This is great news that needs to be followed up by enabling policy and legal frameworks to guide our communities towards deriving tangible benefits from this declaration. To directly trigger growth in the tourism sector and subsequently our revenue collection, we will invest in a facelift on infrastructure and facilities to fully operationalize our tourist attractions. In order to deliver tangible results within reasonable time, we will also invest in effective marketing and partner with national government, KWS, national museums, conservancies, and UN agencies to further develop the tourism sector to bring more money to our great county. In this entire process, we will involve the local communities so as to make them beneficiaries and partners in tourism development. Wherever we do a tourism activity, and when we, for example, support like Bogoria, the communities there will get a certain percentage of the money there. If we support Lake Kapnorok to become a tourist attraction, the communities around there will get a reasonable percentage of the income there. If we do the bird sanctuary, if we do the conservancies, the communities there and will be beneficiaries to a large extent. Honorable members, insecurity in our county is still a great challenge that has resisted numerous multi-agency approaches and interventions. It is very regrettable that in this time and age, we still have to focus our energy and little resources at ending cattle rustling and banditry. Over the years, these fights have translated to unnecessary loss of hundreds of innocent lives, internally displaced persons, disruption of learning, and closure of schools, as well as immense loss of property of great monetary value. As a county, we shall continue to play our part in trying to solve this unfortunate situation, for example, by opening up security roads and trying as much as possible to engineer our mindset change to the communities that are impacted by this practice. Whereas security is a national government function, it is clear that we have insecurity. The county suffers, and this affects investment. We need to work closely with the security agencies. And I propose that the county assembly supports the allocation of resources to facilitate the county achieve this. I know that it is not legal for us to put money in security, but we will form an intergovernmental relations committee that can provide interaction between us and the national government side who are responsible for security, so that together we can develop strategies of not only using, working together to bring down these insecurity issues, but to provide those kind of resources to facilitate discussions on that activity. The committee will receive an update on progress works done between the two levels of government. We want, for example, this assembly to be updated on what the national government is doing on insecurity. And if we don't have a forum that the members of the national government, the security committee, cannot come and address you, they should come and address the assembly and say, this is the challenge that we have now, these are the things that we are doing, can you help us in doing ABCD so that we can solve this problem together? We will therefore be tabling policies and legislative proposals that will set up institutions that will be responsible for mobilizing resources to fund our programs. The institutions will, and I think this is now about fundraising, the institutions will lead to establishment of maybe a county microfinance entity, a county revenue board, so that we can be able to collect revenue in a more organized manner, and perhaps a county social and economic council. We will be coming with these policies, and where possible, we will do relevant legislation so that we can be able to go in that direction. We want to set up these institutions so that they play their role in ensuring that the county taps on the best talent that is available. We want to engage our diaspora so that they can also make their contribution in making our county stronger and better. We will also establish a framework that will facilitate effective engagement and consultation with the private sector and non-state actors in the county. We are proposing to do this because we want to be a facilitatory government where people know that they have a place and a role in our journey to build the county and shape its future. Maybe, members, I would also like to tell you that in these 5 years, during our first 5 years, we wanted to establish a university. I know that it's a national government function, but because of challenges at that time, it was not possible. During the next 5 years, I do not know whether anything happened in the establishment of a university. We will want to work together between us and the national government and all the members of the public in Baringo County to try to support the facilitation of establishment of a university in Baringo County. This will not only help us to get our people to access university education, but it will be an opportunity to generate a lot of employment for our people. My administration, honorable members, my administration will establish and implement policies that will promote unity, cohesion, harmony, and opportunities for all to thrive. We commit to work closely with the county assembly, the national government, the private sector, to ensure that policy development and implementation is done in an harmonious manner so that our resources are used efficiently for the good of the people. The journey towards developing the third generation county integrated development plan has commenced. I appeal to members to take an active role in informing the public to actively participate in these processes. It is important because with the CIDP, we will have a framework that will be used for planning and budgetary processes. By the way, a good CIDP can enable us to shop and look for resources, extra budgetary resources, to support our development. We will prioritize technology in the delivery of service. We seek strategic place of digitally delivered services, not only that they reduce cost, but they also help in ensuring that we reach more people faster. We will also work to support our young people. They are the future of our county. We will do this by supporting the development of talents, develop sporting facilities, and other related services which will be provided by the county government in collaboration with well-wishers. We will work to ensure that we protect our environment from degradation. As you know, that climate change is a reality. We will also work to facilitate access to credit so that the people can invest in the county. You know that the President has established a Ministry of Cooperatives that will manage the Hustler Fund, and for us in this country, we must prepare ourselves to be able to welcome this Hustler Fund, the 50 billion that will be coming. Let not other people get that money and not us. We must be ready to welcome that money and support our people to invest in micro and small-scale enterprises that will support our people. We will therefore strengthen cooperatives and also partner with stakeholders to deliver this. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Speaker, to facilitate the seamless and efficient realization of county projects, I want to enhance the capacity of the county administration. On this note, I would like to request this House to support proposals that we may make towards the construction and completion, as well as equipping our ward offices. Our people in the ward must be the first people to ensure that if there is a project in Lower Morok that we are implementing, they can be able to monitor as quickly as possible. If there is a project in Soibe, in Lembusquen ward, the people in the sub-county must be there on a daily basis to ensure that they are implemented. The weakest, our weaknesses previously is because we do a plan, we do a budget, we decide the projects, and then nobody implements. And when nobody implements, it's as if the county assembly members have failed. They have not implemented the projects that they have decided. The Wananchi have said, we want to do a project. Let's, for example, say we want to do an apiculture factory, and you have assigned the money, and our executive is supposed to procure and implement. If we fail to implement, they say the MCA alituambia tutatengeneza apiculture factory, and you have failed, and then they will not re-elect you. I want to promise you that we will do our bit so that nobody will blame you for not implementing programs. We will also therefore fill the vacant positions of administrators who are supposed to do that work for you, so that we can be able to finish. I call upon all state officers, government officials, residents, and indeed all stakeholders to work towards exercising prudence, guaranteeing transparency, accountability, and sealing all possible loopholes for corruption and wastage of resources. You know, sometimes even our people don't come to work. But they come to work on Tuesday and leave on Thursday. That is the reason why we are not implementing projects. If you are not coming to work for Monday and Friday, how many days are you stealing? In a month you are stealing 8 days. If your salary is 1,000 shillings per day, you are stealing 8,000. You are stealing 8,000. If it is 5,000 a day, you are stealing 40,000. Even not coming to work is stealing. And there is no point us paying people. Our wage bill is big. We cannot pay people when they are not working. I promise you that we will initiate a performance management system that will monitor and ensure that our people are working to produce for the people that you represent. I appeal to you as my fellow leaders that we work together to serve our county people better. I am committed to provide leadership in the county's governance as provided by the devolved system to ensure that Baringo continues to develop. And let me also ask you, when you see our people not working, please alert the governor so that we can whip them, so that we can make sure that they work for you, because these people are supposed to deliver for our people. And when they deliver for our people, you succeed, I succeed, and they succeed, and the Wananchi succeed. As your partner, let's consult the people more as we make our contribution to the growth of democracy, good governance, unity, and cohesion within the county. There will be challenges in our journey ahead, but I assure you that we have what it takes to overcome them. Yes, our economy is rock bottom. The entire economy, the nation. Our budget is not sustainable. The president has said that he would like Kenyans to save more than 300 billion shillings every year. Prudence in management of our resources. We in the county must save, must prioritize saving so that we can be able to do the projects that we intend. We must use our money wisely and prudently. I will undertake to do that. We have a great opportunity to shape a great and better future for our people. As your governor, I will provide leadership in ensuring that our administration upholds the principles of public finance management, necessary austerity measures in guiding resource use, allocation, and the general management of public affairs. I urge this House to support our efforts to bring change to Baringo County. May we all work hard and embrace unity of purpose as the driver of our county's development. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I would like to strongly request this House that when the time comes, you move with speed in approving the County Executive Committee members and other state officers who will be appointed in a short while. This will go a long way in effecting a speedy transition and avoiding delay in the process of implementing our actual development and delivering services to our citizens. With the Lord's grace upon us, and with prayers from the church, and ourselves being a prayerful county, we can achieve what we so desire. And what we desire is better quality of life for our citizens, where nobody will go without food, where nobody will struggle to pay school fees, where nobody will find it difficult to get health services, where everybody will feel happy and be proud to be a member of Baringo County. Thank you. God bless you all. God bless Baringo County. God bless Kenya. Thank you very much. And I will also promise you that if there is any welfare issue that must be done for the benefit of the assembly members, we will do it together. Thank you very much.
Next order.
Order number 4, adjournment.
Order, members. Your Excellency the Governor and honorable members, we have come to the end of the business of today. Your Excellency the Governor and honorable members, I would like to take this opportunity to invite you and our invited guests for a photo session at the main entrance of the County Assembly, and thereafter to a speaker's cocktail at the County Assembly restaurant. Honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order 21, you are kindly requested to remain standing in silence in your places until the procession of His Excellency the Governor and members of the clergy leave the chamber. Honorable members, pursuant to Standing Order 19, paragraph 2, the Assembly stands adjourned until Wednesday, 5th of October, 2022 at 9:30 a.m.